Race 9 yesterday at Moonee Valley was the running of the Crystal Mile over at 1600 metres, yeah, Group 2 level.
Funny that's
the winner, once again, no surprise, he was Sea Battle, trained by Kavanagh, ridden by Rod. So, amazing day they had yesterday, and placings were Conquering from Tasmania, and Orange County, another very good run by that horse. He just never seems to put in a real bad one. So, Suma, why don't you lead off on this, mate?
Yeah, look, it was a good reward for Sea Battle, who's been, thereabouts and consistent, and I think it was his turn to break through yesterday. Capped off a remarkable day for the Kavanaghs with winning the three major races. Fantastic. Look, this race, I must say, I don't really have much of an opinion of it. I thought it was a bit of a bunched finish there. There's a few horses that ran below par. I thought Rockwood and Pillar of Hercules were going to fight it out before the race, and they both put in substandard efforts. I don't have a hell of a lot to say about the race. I think that the winner's a good horse, and he'll be competitive in the Emirates. But as for the others, it's hard to see them turning that around. And
Flemington's their only hope.
Yeah.
Some of them.
Yeah. Well, see, Pillar of Hercules actually had good form at the Valley prior to yesterday, so he doesn't really have the excuse with the Valley.
Doesn't have a barrier excuse anymore either.
Maybe Rockwood didn't like the track. Maybe he'd prefer Flemington, but he had a gun run yesterday. He had an absolute gun run.
There's no excuse.
No excuse.
No.
I really expected him to have. Watching the race, I thought, how much is this going to be? And then he just gave up. So, not a lot to say about it. Maybe, if anything, just keep following the winner, because the stable's red hot at the moment, and you probably just want to be on anything that they've got.
They haven't got a winner in Adelaide yesterday.
I'm sure that was the highlight of their day.
It was.
Look, the problem for me was that being on anything they've got was something I only caught on to during Princess Maritza's race. So he had three winners, and my dad looked at me and said, "Is he going to win a fourth?" And I said, "Yep, let's get on." And,
well, not if you heard Rod's after race interview after he won on Sea Battle. He was asked actually, "Can you make a full on Princess Maritza?" And surprising to me, and possibly to the owners of Princess Maritza, was, "No, I can't get greedy, got to let someone else win one."
Oh God!
And I thought to myself, I'd turn around the grass and I said, "You'd be happy if you were Princess Maritza's owner." You wouldn't.
Seen all the luck used up early. Look, Sea Battle was a very strong win, as Suman said. He covered a lot of ground yesterday, so the performance is not to be knocked. And look, despite a few disappointing performances, it was a relatively strong field engaged for the race. Compared to some years previous that we've seen. So full credit to the horse, because he really stormed away with the race. Conquering the Taswegian, a good effort for second. He sort of ripped off some pretty quick sectionals there up close to the pace, so it was good to see him fighting on there for second. I'm not convinced that Orange County is a miler. He certainly looked to finish on, but I mean, look, I think he was back in a similar place to Sea Battle. That's finishing on. I'm just not convinced the horse gets a full mile. Pillar of Hercules, hugely disappointing. As Suman said, should have been fighting out that finish, but was just floundering. I do not know where they go with him now. I suppose you probably just give him another chance, but there's no excuses remaining for that horse. Rockwood, certainly granted again, expected him to win, but I won't sack that horse. Reason being because, as you've pointed out as well yourself, the horse probably is looking for 2,000 metres. Yeah. I think he wants that now. I think if you noticed, he looked gone a long way out, but coming around the turn and into the straight, he was there again, and he was almost in the lead again. Yeah. Part of that was because he's saving ground on the rails, but he also fought again, and I think he was just very sort of one-paced and really grinded to the line there in the end, whereas the others showed a bit of turn of foot and a bit of speed over the mile. So I'd give him another chance over 2,000 metres. I don't know what he goes to. I mean, you're not going to back him up in the McKeown and wait for age.
No,
so.
I think they...
You'd have to go to the Emirates.
I just don't think he can be competitive at the top level over a mile. I think he needs to.
There may be a lot more pressure on in that race.
Oh, you would hope.
Yeah, exactly. You would hope so. But yeah,
He's had two runs over a mile now. He needs to step up. That's my thoughts anyway, and I think that's why he struggled a bit there in the end. So I haven't sacked him.
Well, he won a Frank Placker over 2,000 last campaign, so we know he can run 2,000 metres.
He's a 2,000 metre horse and above. To be honest, he'll get further. And the last thing I want to say is marching. Still, Sunday at 12 p.m. He's still looking for a way out. So,
No, they've put in a request to name change. Yeah, walking now. He's no longer marching. He's walking.
I'm actually saying that he never got a crack at it though.
Oh, okay.
He never got out.
So if he got the gap, he didn't have the chance to walk through it.
He would have marched through it.
Look, I'm not a fan of the horse. I never have been, but I just noted that in the ruck there. If you were on him and he's one of your horses, forgive the run because the horse didn't ever see daylight. But yeah, I'm not going to disagree with the boys. I'm not a fan of his.
No, I've been harsh on him. I think he's won like 600,000 or 700,000, so I shouldn't mock him too much. But yeah, he's been a little bit disappointing this campaign. Sea Battle, I've got to say, he's turned out to be a little better than what I thought he was going to be. He won he was initially trained. I don't know if you guys remember, but he was trained in Sydney by Guy Walter.
Yeah.
And I remember backing him on a number of occasions, and he won at Warwick Farm and at Kembla.
Did you think he'd ever be a...
I actually thought he was going to be a stakes or group class horse, but maybe over 2,000 or 2,400. That's the indication he gave to me early on in his career. But Mark's done a terrific job with him, and he's sprinting so well. Maybe he just needed to mature a little bit because he was an immature 3-year-old.
Yeah.
Been like Quest for Fame, I don't know, but he's going enormously well. He won a string of races through the winter, including the Winter Championship over a mile. But he's stepped up in the spring, and he's winning some nice races now.
Another one yesterday for the cheap horse. He was a $15,000 purchase at the Ready to Run in Melbourne. Quest for Fame out of a Danehill, so it's a cross again. It's good. It gives you hope, doesn't it, when you can see cheap horses like that.
Especially for battlers like me. But
probably the best horse in the country who begot you 19,000. So it just goes to show.
I have to say though, boys, and I know you might hammer me for this one, but I've always thought Quest for Fame's a very underrated star. I'm not talking commercially. I'm talking about results, strictly results on the racetrack. I think for the sort of credit that he's got over time, less so now because he's starting obviously to fade a bit now, but he's produced more than enough good horses for the same.
The most unusual thing about Quest for Fame is that he was a very dour English Derby winning horse, and he hasn't thrown stayers over here. He's thrown sprinter milers.
Yeah. Who could have been his best horse?
Unworldly. Unworldly. And
she was cut down the prime.
But there are a few of them. There's a handful of very good horses.
Even Unworldly, she was so brilliant that you'd almost think that she would have been at best a miler. Like she may have gone over.
No, she was so good. She probably would have gone 2,000.
She may have, but she's such a brilliant horse, and it's so unusual that this stallion, who probably everyone thought was going to be too dour, and he's ended up being.
Well, Dracula didn't ever turn 4.
Yeah, they're all sprint milers.
What I've said all along, we should be bringing more of these stallions into this country because although they may seem okay, they're not sprinter milers, not suited by our conditions, but the thing is, our gene pool here, most of our mares are sprinter milers anyway, our blood, so they're complementing it well. I love the breed.
I'm becoming more and more a devotee of what you're saying because
thank you.
I think that it's just difficult. We've got to find a way to make it more attractive for people to want to breed stayers. I think that, Matt, you made a good point a couple of weeks ago. Even stayers have to show something as 2-year-olds or earlier on in the piece.
They usually do show something on track.
And let's face it, how many horses race as spring 2-year-olds anyway? Most of them, if you're lucky, they get to the track as autumn or winter 2-year-olds.
That's right, and then you're in your 3-year-old season anyhow.
You're in your 3-year-old season.
So there's not that long away, which is my argument.
I think it's a good point, and I do think that
we'll bring out a Son of Monson. What do you think?
Yeah, why not? Like we need. Darley were looking at doing that. I don't know why that got shelved. I believe that they were looking at bringing a horse that was scheduled to come now, and I think Darley, particularly, a better place than most to be able to offer these types of
finance that thing.
And I think that's a positive that they can bring to the industry.
Yeah, I think you can't expect a small guy to go out there and take that risk.
It's too hard, man. Yeah, it's very difficult anyway. It's competitive, but I do think that if we can. Find ways to make it more attractive and have better programming for staying horses and better
It needs to be done.
The program's going to match true.
Okay, I think probably the fact that we've covered breeding more than the horses in the Crystal Mile says a lot for the race. So I think that's a wrap on the Crystal Mile. Thank you.